Hi guys, PR Charles here, and today is Q&A Friday. I have 3 questions. The first question is the size influenced by the amount of strength you are striving for in each grid section? This is a very good question. It's a very technical question. I like. Okay, all right. I am not a Sister Lock consultant yet. Yes, the magic word is yet. I have taken the Sister Locks retightening class. I have maintained my hair for 10.5 years. I have had Sister Locks for 11 years. I can give you my opinion based on my experience and of my impression. But to be honest with you, in 2 weeks, I can give a more in-depth answer because I will be taking the consultant training next month, which is around the corner. Yes, in 2 weeks. All right. Yes, I think the size is influenced by the amount of strength you are striving for in each grid section. It's kind of a funny way for me to kind of describe that. I think they're doing that, but I think that they're doing more. Size is influenced by many factors. It's influenced by how you want it to look. It's influenced by the density of your hair. The density is how many hair follicles you have per square inch. And everybody has different sections. The density on their scalp is different in different areas. Some people have very dense hair throughout their whole head. In my case, the density for me is up in here into the middle, and then the hair is just naturally thinner on the edges. So for me, when my Sister Locks were installed, the back row was extremely large, and she sized it that way because in order to, I'm in a lot. In order to prevent the locks from snapping, from rubbing and chafing and those type of things from the type of clothes that I would wear. So yes, size is influenced by the amount of strength you are striving for. Also, it's incorporating density. Also, the look of it. Also, the upkeep. Because if you have a lot of fine locks, it's more money, it's more time, it's more effort. Okay, hope that answer helps. The next one is, okay, I have hair down to my belly button, and I wanted to know how much, what would be the price range. Sister Locks, on average, I think it's from 4 to 5 inches, is $500 to $600, and it's $100 per inch afterwards. If you have hair to your waist, that is a lot of hair. You can expect to pay a grip. Okay, I can easily see somebody paying $2 to $3 grand with hair down to their waist. Well, no, because my belly button is lower than my waist, so I'm using me as a reference. That's a lot of hair. It's a lot of money. Now, if you don't want to pay that much money, you can cut your hair. We're not talking about teeny weeny fro, but you cut it short enough where it's within your budget. If you don't want to do that, then it'll be wise to take the Sister Lock consultant class, and you sit down and you have somebody help you part your hair and help you install your locks. You will have to invest a lot of time, energy, a head tie, scarf, possibly a wig to cover your hair as you are progressing through your scalp or your hair. That will be a job that may take you weeks. If, depending on the size, if you want it really small, you have your work cut out for you. Okay. The last question is, what do I think about finding and expressing your inner voice? Okay. I believe it's imperative to find your inner voice, but it's so funny. We don't really need to find it. We already know it exists. It's that small little voice that talks to you, that knows what you should be doing. And I'm not talking about the conditioned voice. We have many voices. We have a conditioned voice. We have an analyzing voice. We have our conscience. We have the critical voice. You have intuition/inner voice. A lot of times we always hear our inner voice. We just don't trust it and believe in it, so we discredit it. And it's a fine line, and it's a juggle between operating on a conscious level and an inner level. So what happens is we tend to go to the conscious because it's more tangible. Whereas your inner voice, you have this knowing, but you didn't arrive at this knowing through logical means. It's a weird to describe, but you didn't get there through there's not a logical process to it, so we have the tendency to discredit it because, we live in a society where everything is five senses, school, intellect, and we have the tendency to go in that direction. An example of your voice. You're in a relationship with someone and you know this person is not for you. You know this person is not for you. But they may romance you nicely or take you out, or if you're a person that likes a lot of gifts, or if you just like an attention, that conscious part of you will latch on to that person. But your inner voice may say underneath, this person's spirit does not resonate with me. And you're like, okay, fine, but I'm going shopping next week, or I don't want to be alone, or whereas your inner voice is like, since we are not resonating on a deeper level together, you are capable of finding someone else that you can have that experience with. So how do we ignore that? We just don't follow what our inner self says, and then we stay in the situation, and then when it gets really bad, we get upset, and the first thing we say to ourselves is, I knew he wasn't the one for me. It's amazing. Your inner self is the natural guidance that was instilled in you and us. We all have it. We really don't need to find it. We just need to become sensitive again to what it's saying. As we're growing up, that inner voice is loud and clear because it funnels us being who we are. It's like little kids when they come across strangers and they're like, they don't want to talk to the stranger. Or, you have that Aunt Maureen that comes over and you're like, mommy and daddy's like, go ahead and hug your Auntie Maureen. And you're like, I don't want to hug her. And then, they beat you to hug her. I'm being graphic. They scold you to hug her and stuff. That is your inner self talking. It says, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like the energy this person is giving off. I don't want to stand in that energy. I don't want that energy to envelop me. But then you're trained out of it. Hey, this is your elder. You have to show respect. So these are some of the things that I'm stating to say we have it already. It's just that we don't trust and believe it, so we ignore it. So how does one expressing your inner voice? I believe eventually you have no choice. Life gets really, really bad to the point where you start to chuck everything, and then you're like, you know what, screw everybody, I'm just gonna do me. I believe in the process of doing me, you become more in tune with your inner voice, and your inner voice flows through you more naturally. You can also cultivate your inner voice by doing anything in the arts, or you have quiet contemplation, you have meditation, singing, dancing, poetry, reading words that stirs your soul. Once you cultivate the habit of always feeding that part of yourself, the voice, I'm going to say gets louder, but you also become more sensitive to it, and then it's harder to go against who you are. And expressing yourself, basically, like I said before, is being who you are. You will meet people, and they will not like it. Oh well, you will naturally repel them. And those who gravitate to you and stick with you and stay with you, it's because they really like who you are. I believe any type of relationship, whether it be your job, your friends, your self, it should not be work in order to keep these people around. It shouldn't be work to keep these people around. It should be effortless. And if people like you for who you are because you show up expressing who you really are, I mean, that doesn't mean you won't have any tiffs, but I think you will foster genuine relationships with yourself and with others. Okay, I've covered that. I want to give you a quote from Dwayne Dyer. Okay, he says here, he has an affirmation, and he says here, there will be family drama. A lot of us do not want to rock the boat or go against the grain, and we follow the masses. Who are the masses? The masses could be simply your family. It could be the church you go to. It could be your neighbors, the company you have at school or work. And his affirmation is, I would rather be loathed for who I am than loved for who I am not. Another thing is that your inner self, it knows what is right, and it's you doing what's right and in harmony with your spiritual essence. And every one of us has a spiritual essence. It's up to us to cultivate it. It's up to us to honor it. It's up to us to discover it. And discover meaning discover, uncover it. All right? So that's it for Q&A Friday. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for the feedback. I love it. Keep it coming, please. And you all have a good evening. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.